Hey guys, welcome. Dr. Matt here, Form Family Chiropractic. Today, sensory processing disorder. We're going to dive in. So if you're living with sensory processing disorder, SPD, can be a challenging experience, both for children and their families. The daily struggles faced by those with SPD often go unnoticed. So when we're leaving parents and children who are struggling with sensory-related behavior or other issues, they feel judged and isolated. It can be hard to go to stores, movies, get haircuts, restaurants, just doing anything, even being at school. So today in this video, what we're going to really look at and lean into and we'll explore is what SPD is. Its symptoms, its causes, the triggers, all the variable care options as well that are in this world, okay? Because if you feel like you've tried everything, okay? You've tried everything, you're running out of hope as your child's sensory issues spill over into chronic challenges like ADHD and anxiety and even autism, this video is for you. And that's where we're going to go today. And I can't wait to walk with you through this, okay? So, as a parent, parents many times feel like SPD impacts their children and families' ability to participate in everyday activities, which you already know. Like I said, restaurants, movies, concerts, doctor's offices, dentists, birthday parties, friends, sleepovers, you name it. It's overwhelming and leaves parents feeling isolated and without answers because you can't control how your kid feels. You just know what they're walking through. You know what they're dealing with because you see the outburst. You see the, I can't function, okay? So we'll talk about and address that root cause. I know for us, everything is root cause of SPD or sensory processing disorder, okay? Improving that neurological function, most commonly due to the excessive sympathetic nervous system or fight-or-flight response within the brain, and in turn, a suppressed or weakened parasympathetic. They go hand in glove, right? If you have too much of fight or flight, you're not going to have enough rest and relax side of the nervous system. So we've got to get that balance back. We'll also talk about one main test, and we use the HRV, heart rate variability, which can help us assess this imbalance and provide the care to calm the sensory storm in the long term. Did you catch that? Long term. We've got to get this storm to calm down and unwind. Overwhelm was certainly the case for Logan's parents. Okay, they were walking through this. They tried every traditional therapy and method out there to calm his sensory storm and to help him better manage his emotions, get his behavior under control, get his body to move appropriately, and recognize those sensory cues that are common everyday things like going to the bathroom and getting dressed. These were being missed or at the wrong time or in the wrong place. So Logan was just overwhelmed. So just like millions of other kids, Logan struggled with sensory processing issues early as an infant. Despite what his parents were told by their pediatrician again and again, he did not grow out of it. Instead, his sensory nervous system grew into more stress, more dysfunction, and everyday struggles. It just got amplified. Kids don't grow out of stuff, they grow into it, okay? Sorry, I get tired of hearing this all the time from pediatricians. Finally, his parents, they heard about our perfect storm, which is coming up on the 24th of this month, okay? And we're gonna go through SPD, we're gonna talk about ADHD, we're gonna walk through all these things. And they heard about this and they came and they began to understand what they could do to help calm Logan's sensory storm naturally without the use of drugs or traditional therapies like PT, OT, or speech therapy. We actually told them to do less. Let's focus on the core. Let's focus on the system that runs everything for the body. All right, so let's go here. Let's talk about sensory processing disorder, SPD, is a condition that affects how the brain is processing and responding to the sensory information from the environment around, okay? Individuals with SPD, they're gonna struggle to filter. Did you catch that? To filter and interpret. The information is coming in, they don't know how to filter that sensory input effectively, so they're gonna move into that overwhelm or underwhelm really quickly. The symptoms of SPD include hypersensitivity to stimuli, sensory overload, sensitivity to light, touch, sound, even color. These symptoms can lead to behavioral issues because they're going to melt down. They're going to have difficulties with everyday functions and everything kind of gets out of balance. Okay, second thing here, SPD is strongly correlated with early exposure to stressful events and physical injuries during pregnancy. Labor and delivery issues, early infancy and childhood struggles, okay? When these factors, they disrupt the neurosensory development And they contribute to the development of SPD because they've been in through a type of trauma, whether it's physical, emotional, or chemical, okay? So as a pediatric and family chiropractor, we assess this physical stress. We call it subluxation, dysautonomia of and around the vagus nerve dysfunction. We're gonna go head on against it, and we can show you how that plays a significant role in the sensory challenges. Subluxation refers to misalignment, fixation, or decreased range of motion in that neurospinal system, which can contribute to that neurological interference that creates that imbalance, right? Okay. This is why, as a drug-free care option for SPD, it includes neurologically focused chiropractic because we want to address the root cause of this neurological dysfunction. Our approach focuses on restoring balance to the autonomic nervous system and that vagus nerve function because that's the brake pedal for the body. If that's back on track, then your body's back on track. So the one key test that I love more than anything else called heart rate variability. I already talked about it a little bit, or HRV. This technology is used to measure the parasympathetic nervous system's activity and monitor the progress in children with SPD. Okay. HRV, along with other tests such as our neurothermal and our neurosensory or EMG, they can provide a comprehensive and overall assessment of that neurological function. So I wanted to show you this because this is a great example of what's going on. This is indicating where that parasympathetic nervous system is, or that vagus nerve imbalance is taking place. So that's why we see them way over on this side in that sympathetic overload where there's no brake, okay? So we are showing that they're in that sympathetic overload, and that's what's running out of control. Now, as care progresses over the next 2 to 3 months, you can start seeing that white box move towards the center line and higher up towards the green circle. And this is indicating that his subluxation and the dysautonomia were vastly improved and his nervous system now much more calmer and balanced and regulated. Now, as we keep the care going and moving across, okay, you're going to start to see a greater amount of shift. So, as a neurologically focused chiropractic care, the neurotonal adjustments can help improve that subluxation, that stress stuck on, dysautonomia, which means there's no regulation of the system, leading to a decrease in that sensory overload. So the more we take that off, then the sensory overload can go down. There's space. So we're going to start seeing improvements in sleep, motor planning, digestion, behavioral emotional regulation. Addressing the root causes in the nervous system of sensory processing can lead to better outcomes and faster results. So when we're living with sensory processing disorder, it can be a challenge, but with the right support and care for your children and for you, they can thrive and get past these challenges. They don't have to grow into this more and more, okay? They really don't. What we want to help you see is that the earlier as a parent and as a provider, we're able to address those root causes and improve that neurological function, man, then the better and faster you get to see results. That's why we're all about time and repetition in our office, because we know if we can get to that vagus nerve and get it responding, if we can get rid of that imbalance in that sympathetic and get it back to a place where it needs to be, then we start seeing the changes. So it's been several years since Logan was stuck deep in his sensory storm. Now he's going into 8th grade and he's thriving and he's truly living his best life. He's not stuck. He didn't grow into those patterns. We got him out of that pattern. So now he chooses what clothes he wants to wear. He eats what he wants to eat, and he's really thriving and loving his life. And guess who's also thriving and loving life? Mom and dad. Because as a parent, when our kid is doing well, we're doing well. When they're not doing well, we're not doing well. So remember, you're not alone in this sensory journey. There's help available to you naturally. And that's what we want to lean into over and over again. Let's start there. Let's see what we can do to get this system to unwind and to relax and be at its best. And when we do that, then we start seeing the function, we start seeing the fun, we start seeing the joy and the hope, the help and the answers come back into our kids' lives. And especially for you, just know we're going to walk you through this. You don't have to be overwhelmed by SPD. We got you.